was in the other room. I said, "Hey, honey, would you want to come and address this because I'm being told I'm a liar?" And Martin came in and said, "About what?" And I said, "Your need to clean things." He says, "Oh yeah, I'm obsessed. She's a slob." And he said, "I'm very therapeutic in that way, and I'm very feminine in that way, and I don't mind." And the guy actually told us to f off and disappeared. He even blocked before I could block him, and I'm like, "Really? That's it? Your masculinity is that threatened by another man openly saying he finds it therapeutic to do the cleaning?" Jeez. Jeez. Oh, we got a.
Yeah, there.
Oops. There we go. Okay.
I muted.
You muted me.
Well, I muted my
Let me
desktop.
continue. Okay.
I
Like,
usually
good.
have my
I've been.
desktop muted.
Ah. Apparently this time you did not.
Well, because the app wasn't responding. I was getting the app is not responding, and I accidentally hit close app, and then this guy
Ah,
was. I had to refresh it. So
joys of technology.
if someone want if the universe wanted to give me a webcam, I think I could work that with the computer.
You think you
Well,
can handle
that
it?
other subject was brought up before, so I'm just throwing that out there to the universe.
Hey, sometimes you get lucky, right?
It's been a minute since I've been lucky. Yeah, I'm
But
not afraid to take
we're not
shots at myself.
that kind of broadcast. You know that, right?
I remember that, but
Oh
I've
yeah,
already
that's
see,
on.
I've yeah, but I'm only alluding to things. I haven't actually.
Yeah,
Well, okay, I did relate
yeah.
the first story, but
It started back in our Periscope days. Back in our Periscope days, many years ago, we were making our first lightsabers on air, and we sand the blades, the clear rods, to get the light to travel up. And Martin was finishing off the battery compartment on one of the lightsabers, and it's really a one-person job. So I said, okay, my part's done. Let me sand the rod. And I sat there on air sanding a lightsaber rod, and the
mm-hmm.
remarks came pretty fast. And I wasn't thinking about it because prop maker, just you do that. And I've got that kind of personality and sense of humor, which I used a lot back then, and I still do every once in a while. And yeah, I looked over at Martin and very gently said, "I don't think we're that kind of broadcast." And he said, "No, no, no, we're not that kind of broadcast." And it was just like, oh God. And then from that point on, we did anything, no matter how small, anything we said or did that was suggestive in any way, shape, or form, that came up. Not that kind of broadcast. And it was just like, okay, I guess that's forever now. This is going to be an interesting combination of stones. I have to find a better source of stones before I do the more expensive ones. Like, these are still very experimental in comparison to what we would do for production. So I want to sell them, but I'm not too concerned about the perfect color match because I'm working with stones I presently have. Oops, that one went in really crooked. I am fixing that though because that's wrong.
As it is though, with two devices, I've still managed to do broadcasts for over 5 hours. So I've done
Nice.
7 hour broadcasts because I generally start with my pocket computer, formerly my cell phone, and then when it gets slow, I bring on my laptop and then repeat the process. I rarely have them on at the same time because gotta shut, gotta turn off the mic on the cell phone and put in the the headphones. Otherwise, it makes a terrible high pitch sound that it's not good.
Feedback, and not the kind you want.
Well, I rarely get the kind I want. As I was saying before, well, like the flowers and the even just reaction, you know. And if you look at the reactions, you've got three that are totally positive. You know, the thumbs up, the the love, and the appreciation. The others, like you've got crying, so you can say, "Oh, he's crying." Like that person is crying because how bad that broadcaster is. And then there's the two looks of horror. Well, no, because like people, I think some people are like, "No, I can't say that's good." But hey, I can say it's shitty. So of the seven,
No,
five have some. Well, four certainly have. You can put a negative spin on them if that's what it's going to take for you to react. You know, the two looks of horror, the laughing. It could be like, ah, laughing at you, not with you, and then the crying, like, oh my god, his poor parents. He or she, they're so terrible. Their parents
I
must be
think it's
like
supposed to be.
crying.
I think it's supposed to be like sympathy tears. You know,
Well, I
like
know, but
mourning the death of someone, or
well, no,
you
it's
know.
or just crying with joy. But for the people who are like, because it's so easy. You look online, though. I generally don't get all that. I don't get that directly, but you know, it's so easy for people to be like, "Ah, oh, that shit, that's bad." You know, like worry. It's easier to criticize something than say, "Oh, well done." And people
Yeah, of course
seem
it
to
is.
prefer that. So if that's what
Yeah,
it's going to
because
take, look at those
people
four.
have
They're negative. That can be the cause for reacting. But
people have very low self-esteem. You know, and you're right. It's much easier to be negative because it's that whole misery loves company. And I keep saying to my friends, the next one that says that I'm not a friend anymore. I just can't do this. You know, I would rather we stand together than misery loves company. I mean, I would rather feel united by a bunch of people who are moving ahead and we're progressing than hey, I'm miserable, you're miserable, let's stay miserable. No, no. I don't want you, you know, around me that much. Like come around me every once in a while when you have a hard thing to deal with. That's great. But solve it, damn it. If I'm gonna
we're
spend
not
my
that kind
time
of
talking to you
podcast.
about it, yes, we're not. We're not.
Because you said a thing that line applies to.
I like to use the heart when someone viewing a broadcast says hello to me. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's. Oh, does that mean if I keep saying hello to you, we'll get there? But that's part of the reason why we started doing the amounts for you know for story time and for stuff like that because you know you do the math and you can either do a whole bunch or there's one that's actually worth the $5 right off the bat and it makes people think about what they're pressing. You know,
Well,
because
I
we
actually
have to
worked out
we have to do the math.
what I want to, because uh, well, I've had it ready for weeks. I've got 7 levels I'm thinking of, and 5 levels I've already worked out what I'm offering for those levels, and so and the other two eventually I'll write them down and put them out.
Yeah,
So
being on here is much more fun than things like Patreon and stuff because you know Patreon you got to use a secondary app and you got to use this and that and go about it this way and that way. We tried Patreon for a while and it was just like this is too much to maintain.
I've pre-tried it. Like I'm on their list, and but you can't. Well, you have to charge an American. Well, for here too, but here you can go lower because I'm thinking of like 4 American is roughly 5 Canadian. and that's that's I think I might be able to get some. Well, we'll see.
Well, it's really hard for the Europeans as well, because like I mean, the pound and the euro dollar is even less than the Canadian dollar. So you know, but first world problems, right?
Mm.
But no, it's like our store is in Canadian, and it's funny when an American doesn't look at that, doesn't realize that's in Canadian dollars, and they're like, "Oh my God, $800 for that." Yeah, but that's Canadian dollars. You're not paying that much because you're American, and we're using Square, which is worldwide. So Square doesn't give a damn which currency you use. So just let it translate to your currency and everything's fine. Whereas poor Canadians, we get on Amazon.com because we see something there that we don't see on .ca, and we completely forget we're being charged in American. And then you cash out, and then PayPal says, okay, so this many dollars Canadian is gone. You're like, what? What? That's not how much that cost. And then you're like, oh, right, crap. And you kind of rethink it and decide whether or not it's worth canceling. And you made all that work and time happen in order to order that one thing, and your brain goes pop. It's fun being, the cousins to the north, because so much of Canada is
Yep.
reliant upon the U.S. in so many ways.
Ah, they're right there, so it's understandable that there's going to be that close a relationship. And we're more alike than we're not.
Yes, very much so. This is very, very
Though
true.
that the whole
Yeah, I haven't
their
broadcasted
politics are
yet.
a little crazier right now
So I
than
cannot
ours.
remember. Yeah, well, yeah, ours is just eccentric.
Well, there's a
I remember when Trump
couple.
I remember when Trump first got in, and it was every single broadcast that there was at least a couple people of, what's your opinion on Trump, and who do you prefer, Trudeau or Trump? And I'm like, first of all, I don't talk politics on my broadcast. I don't see a point. When it comes to saving monarchs, okay, there's some politics involved, but I'm not going to do this Canada versus the U.S. thing. And when they persist, I'm like, look, I'll say one thing about Trudeau, and they're like, yeah, yeah, and you can almost see them on the other side of their camera, like chomping at the bit and drooling, for me to say something stupid. And I'm like, Trudeau's a geek. He's better looking, and he wore Chewbacca socks to his inauguration. So that's all I have to say. It's like, and then there was always this big gap of nothing. And then the person would come back on and go, "What?" And I'm like, "Exactly. You're American, aren't you?" When I say I'm not going to talk politics and you insist I do, that's as close as I get. We have a geek for our prime minister. He could be out of office tomorrow and I'll still like the guy. Doesn't mean I'll always vote for the guy, doesn't mean I did vote for the guy. It just simply means he's a geek, he's a powerful geek, and he wore Chewbacca socks. Come on. His whole family dressed up as characters from Star Wars. Come on. He's a freaking cosplayer. Whereas Trump is cosplayed, Trudeau
Mm.
cosplays. So I have no problems with this. And it was so amazing when that all first came into play, and just everyone was trying to get us to say something, and it's like, no. Oh, but we're so close. Yes, we are. But I don't talk politics. But you should. I don't. It was just like the number of people I blocked back then, just overwhelming. I'm still recovering from the last administration. Yeah, Molly B, I'm trying to remember exactly where you are.
Well, she does like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think she is in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is a beautiful city, and I think when she came in, it was hello from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is a beautiful city. I've been there a number of times. God, I remember what was it, 94 was the Pittsburgh Costume Con? And it was just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it was Pittsburgh. Okay. I'm back on track. Yay. Look, I'm paying attention. Once I get all the stones into this crown, I'm going to have to go because the appetite's kicking in. And my brother apparently has a turkey dinner for me because I don't cook. And he moved back from Korea a few years ago, and Martin and I just moved back from BC a little while ago. So um, apparently he's attempting Thanksgiving. And if someone's
Cool.
going to feed me, I'm more than happy to come and be eating their food. Right? Starving artists. We can relate, right?
Yep.
Someone gives you free food, you go. Next
I'll
time,
draw for
come
food.
visit our barbecue.
We'll draw for food. We'll write poetry for food.
Can you guys? Uh-oh. My connection went down. Oh, there it is. It's back. I hate it when it does that. Can you guys still hear me and everything?
Yep.
Okay, good. But yeah, if anyone wants to get a hold of me on PM, I'm regularly on Facebook and Instagram, so those are the best ways to do it. And those are the two I focus on the most. I'm still trying to figure out this whole TikTok thing. So I'm not mentally there yet. But I think I may have encouraged an artist TikToker to come over to Hats because she'll get much more loving over here than she does over there. And so yeah, if you find Car Hunger on either of those. Now I'm still learning this whole Pages Suite thing, whatever that Facebook has got going. Because I'm used to just going into my regular profile and just saying, okay, I'm going to look at my pages now. And now they want you to, what is it, Business Suite or something like that?
Why did Facebook ban you, Molly B?
Well, they didn't. Oh, Molly got Facebook banned?
Facebook banned me
Look,
on
the
Instagram,
Kim's
though, she
glass
said.
strips in mine. They look like white cabochons. Oh, nice. What do you mean Facebook banned you? Okay, so you're banned from Instagram, not Facebook.
Well, Facebook owns Instagram, so.
Yes, but they can ban her on one app and not the other. Because they're two slightly different sets of regulations. They're similar, but they haven't updated a lot of the rules and regulations for Instagram. It's still a lot like it was before. They haven't really completely reformatted it yet. The only things that are being affected are the things like messaging and stuff like that, and certain things that the two apps share have to be converted to Facebook rules, but the other stuff isn't. I posted a photo of a vulva bowl. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sorry.
We're
It
not that
does.
kind of broadcast.
Yeah, we're not that kind of broadcast, but that's okay. As long as we don't tell the munchkins what it actually is, that everything's fine.
Just
It's
say
a
that it's
vulva. It
a
looks like
well,
it
she
looks like a.
misspelled Volvo. It's a
That's
Volvo
right.
bowl.
That's right. It looks like a car.
Beep beep.
Yeah, you must be under certain classifications in order to do certain things. So you have to change. Like they won't let me connect my online store to our fan page because we've got our fan page up as a public figure, not as a market or a. So we put in an appeal to either change our status because we've been that status for so long, or allow us to connect to our store. So, they've had to do a lot of changes when they bought Instagram, and yeah, they've disconnected our store from our Facebook fan page because it no longer those classifications
Oh,
no longer exist.
she changed it. It's now a naughty bowl.
Ah,
It was abstract though.
nice.
Apparently not abstract enough for someone.
No, no, exactly.
Ah!
Well, because the computer sees the report first, not a human being. Human being might get to it one day. You know, the more followers you have, the more likely a human being will get to it because you're important to them all of a sudden.
Well, I should be safe then for. Well, I'll be safe forever on YouTube.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, no, because I have one subscriber.
Oh, jeez.
No, seriously, on
Well,
my latest YouTube channel, yeah, one. I have three, and between them I
you're
have what, four? Four, and some of them are the same person.
so you're not safe. You'll never get a human being to see what you to check in on it. Which means if you
Well,
get banned, you stay banned for a long time.
yeah,
The
but
computer will
I
decide.
don't put hardly anything on it, so
See, watch now. Charles is going to go out and make enemies just to see if it works.
oh, I
Yeah, I've
no, if
lost
people
track
don't
of my
like me,
YouTubers, but
they just don't like me.
ah,
It
I
happens
like you.
organically. I know.
I see. I know.
Artoberist. It's also my Instagram, and it may or may not
Oh,
be Gmail account.
friends only. There you go. Yeah, I don't even remember when I log in. If I ever get logged out on most of these apps, I have no idea. I have
Well,
no idea. And we
I
had to
use
change.
password safe.
Yeah, we had to change a whole bunch of our passwords after that on last shutdown. Facebook and Instagram. Oh, I like these
Cool beans, Molly. I'm checking in half an hour.
stuff.
You've got half an hour.
Is there is there a prize if she's not lying?
Well, yes, sure. I'll draw her name again. I'll draw her name. I'll draw art around her name.
Yeah, we have to decide what we still haven't decided what December story time for us is going to be. So we gotta. I guess it'll be Christmas, but which cosplay we gotta decide. So
Ho ho
that's
ho!
gonna be a challenge. I
Ho ho
am not
ho!
buying a Santa suit or making a Santa suit just for. I am just not doing that. I did Santa's helper once and I regretted it. I seriously regretted it. You know, all the truth about Santa Clauses came out and just like it was not a happy place. It was just not a happy place.
Yeah, but I'm thinking you'll be more motivated because you'll be like in your head that you have to must find his account and become a subscriber because
No.
your sober mind is like, what? Why do I want to follow this guy in Montreal? Though you've been very supportive, so
Yeah, it's the attempt that counts, right? But yeah, I'm not sure what cosplay do we have that would. I was almost thinking of going back to Lord of the Rings because of the whole elf thing, but we did that first, so we should kind of go through our cosplays before going back to the other ones. Maybe I don't know. I'll probably ask people, who are our regular sponsors, what they want. Because really, you guys are awesome. It's a couple extra bucks a month that really make us shine. And I've got great supporters like Don Scobie, the bagpiper Don. I
Mm.
talked him into Haps, but I was really missing him because he used to come up to BC all the time and play for all our parades and stuff, and we'd meet up with him when we were down there for Emerald City Comic Con, and he's just one awesome guy. Watch, if I talk about him enough, he'll appear.
Well, you have to say it like Don, Don, Don. Isn't that how it works with the Candyman?
Yes, that's right.
Or is Beetlejuice 3 times?
Beetlejuice is 3 times, yeah.
So you got to
Don
say
Scobie,
Don,
Don
Don,
Scobie,
Don.
Don Scobie, Don Scobie, Don Scobie, Don Scobie. Make it
Or
one word. Damn it, Don,
or
don't
you
make me
just
into a liar.
go at. Oh, sign in to
Oh,
comment and award. I'm not signed in. What? Oh well.
what? How are
You
you
just
not
add
signed in? I'm
me.
seeing you.
I don't know.
Did I mention I'm high on Benadryl? Yes, you did. Nightmare Before Christmas? No, Nightmare Before Christmas. Did they chant? Did they chant for Jack too? No,
Oh
Jack
wow.
goes to find Santa Claus because he's confused.
Apparently I logged myself out.
How? We're watching you.
I know. Well, yeah, but the desktop and the pocket computer are on two different
Realities.
well, they're just two different. They're two different entities. Well, they're just two different. They're not. They,
Oh, geez, you went and did it again, didn't you?
I'll have to go to your
If it's too difficult.
uh,
Did Molly Toff ever come over to Periscope? Because she was the other BC person that was broadcasting a lot on Periscope. She was the other person who was broadcasting a lot in BC on Periscope. And did she ever come over to Haps? Her dog was always so adorable. She had the most cutest dog.
if I start to grumble really loud, it's because my computer is telling me to step off and get bent. See that
Alright.
tech frustration really like it doesn't take much for tech to. And then if I'm
Rise up.
dealing with a hand waver, oh, that makes it even worse.
And with tech, every once in a while, it does beat me, and I just start crying.
Oh, I don't cry. I swear.
I don't cry
I
over
drop the
much,
f
but
bombs.
well, for me, I tend not to have much tech problems until it's old,
Well,
and
this
then
computer
I can
is from
deal with it.
2013.
Nice. What have you got?
It's just it's not an apple. I don't. Apples are for eating.
Then you don't want to see my place.
It's an HP. The tower and the monitors an Acer.
Acer's not bad as a monitor. It's actually pretty half decent.
and it's a longer one, so I can actually chat and write at the same time.
Yeah, this time I went and invested in a laptop instead of a desktop and hooking it up to the screen. So I wind up with two screens basically. So things like Photoshop, I will put all the settings on the smaller screen and the actual project on the larger one. And it creates a situation where I can have a portable machine again and takes up very little space, which right now is vital. It's weird going from a whole house to something half the size.
Mm.
All right. So I am getting there with the stones. If anyone has any questions or thoughts about anything, now is the time to do it. Charles, send me a link to your YouTube. Too many Charles PGs on there. I never broadcast on Periscope. I found it had too many vicious trolls. It did. I am hoping it's not a matter of time because in the very beginning it wasn't. There really wasn't trolls because not very many people knew how to use these apps back then. Um, but it's all in how it's handled and what internet rules and regulations you're operating under. I'm not 100%. I'm slowly figuring out what HAPS's stipulations are when it comes on an international level.
Here we go. Copy.
Because you can tell by the way they handle any problems, what their registration is, basically. But I think most of it went wrong with Periscope when Twitter bought them, quite frankly. I had fun with the trolls. I kept trolling the trolls. I would get to a point where it's like, okay, now it's too much. And I found some of them on here, and I'm happy to see people taking care of it. But, things like a hamster pretending to die is not really healthy either. I mean, that was too much for me. So, we're going to get issues here, and HAPS can only do so much within international regulations because it is the internet.
Hey Molly, if I have to, I will send you a link, but what you are looking for, if you're looking for me whenever you should be looking for me on YouTube, Artoberist. That's what it is.
You want to type that out for her to make it easier?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, right, you're still trying to get in.
Well, no, I'm in. I was just gonna post a link to my to the latest stream that's on YouTube because I do multicast to YouTube, and then it's just as easy. Should be just as easy for her to go, type in Artoberus and she'll see me because she'll, recognize my face.
No, but how do you spell Octoberist, right? If you type that out for everyone else, they'll find you too.
Yeah. Oh no,
Maybe
no,
we can
I'm
get
gonna
more.
do that.
Yeah, maybe we can get more than 4. Then we'll pester you. We'll hit all the thumbs down. Just
Hey, you want to pester me? Pester, pester.
nice.
Don't call me Uncle Fester.
Oh, I grew up without uncles. I'm fine with that.
Bum, 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 bum.
Habs has a few trolls to take care of them quickly. Yeah, within the rules and regulations, like I said, when a hamster goes and pretends to be dead and tries to
That's
get people to, you know, tries to get people to take people down because they don't like them and capitalizing on other people's, innocence. I won't say gullibility because some people just don't have enough experience in life. But yeah, that was too much, and they can't do a thing about it.
oh
because it doesn't go against internet law.
So I'm down to 15%. You were talking about, so I can either switch to my laptop, or you're gonna be like,
Well,
what is your body saying,
I only,
woman, you're gonna eat in the next 10 minutes, or
well, yep, I only have 2 stones left, and then it's a half-hour drive to my brother's. So I'm on for another 5, 10 minutes, however long it takes, and then I'm
okay.
gonna go through a quick breakdown of the whole remember me thing, and then I will let everyone go their own joyous ways. So
Oops.
if you wanted to save your battery and pop yourself out,
Oh no,
then-
it's because no, I'll just go. I'll be able to stay on with this device, I think, and if not, I'll miss the last. I'll pop out just before the end of your broadcast. Is no, it's no
cool.
point in switching over to the Lappy.
Lappy. Sounds like you're talking about a dog or a cat. Lappy, my kitty cat. Loves my Lappy.
Well, actually, I call him Lappity.
Nice. Yeah, our computer is named Merlin because he's full of
Ah,
magic. And all of our phones are named after dragons. And, well, the 2 phones in the car are named after dragons.
death is not something you should use to get attention. Some people, well, people have faked having cancer to,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
get
I've
money.
seen that too. And the worst thing about it is an app like this has to prove it, you know? And then they have to decide whether or not it falls within international law. It's not easy running these apps. So when people get really pissy at people, I'm just like, what? You have an app you wouldn't have if if they didn't exist. All right. Come on, Stone. Settle. Yeah. Which camera I got? What I got that camera going. So yeah, there's just the 2 strips of stones that still have to go in, but that's okay. I can do it later because those should be done when the back is closed up. All right.
But just for Molly, because Molly's awesome. I will.
Molly is awesome. Hmm.
There, I put it on my page too, Molly. So low or high, you can stop on by. Because if you're high, then what's the opposite of high? Low.
It's that Benadryl, that cheap high. There we go. There's the 3 of them. Death is not something you use to get attention. Oh yeah, sorry. You already read that. What are the crowns made of? It is a smooth cast. I think it's a 320 I used this time. Smooth on products. We've now switched over to using everything on Smooth on products. There was a time where you really couldn't get much. Like Smooth on, it only had a select few things of product and was immeasurably expensive. It's not cheap product, but it's good product. And it's nowhere near as expensive as it was when the stuff first came out. So all of our molding materials are from Smooth On. So this is the 320. It's not as flexible as I'd like, but because of the rising costs of plastics and resins, thank you, gasoline shortage, oil shortage, because all these are, of course, oil based. Um, I I'm not going to get the softer version and experiment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more 320 because I ran out. and create another panel in the back to make this more round, um, and stick to the product I know instead of experimenting with new product. We have a really soft kind of viable kind of rubber that we used for a mermaid crown we made for someone, and that stuff is really soft. But for this many points, it'll just flop everywhere, and I don't want to do that to the customer. So yeah, it's I think it's a 320. It was either 320 or 321. But yeah, we use all smooth on products now. The mold should still be here. Is the mold still here? Yeah. See, here's yeah, it's the right one. So here's the mold, and this is a smooth on product as well. And again, you can only get so many castings out of it. Let me switch back to the other camera because it'll be easier to show you. But there's the mold. So Martin made the mold on air when he was here alone, and I've been using the mold to make the positives. And see, these are in the other room right now, but um, that's the
Hey, you're
fairy
not that
tale
kind of
mold.
broadcast.
No, we're not. Try to make it flexible and all. Let me just take look at some more. Wow. Yay, subscriptions. But there's it's a slightly different color. They're both equally um the pink stuff is much more flexible, but we had the blue stuff left over from another project. We ran out of the pink stuff. We were freezing the pink stuff. This stuff lasts longer than the blue stuff, but that's okay. At any time, we can always make fresh molds if they wind up being big sellers. Because of course, every time you pour into it, it deteriorates it a little bit. But you can see the pink is much more flexible. Um, and this was the other material that this is not the mermaid crown. I poured a test first, but this is like water resistant and very different than the 320. Um, but that worked
You
out really
don't
well. Yeah,
normally think of fresh and mold at the same time.
I know. But I'm discovering the powders. We switched to using powders instead of painting afterwards because it makes some more flexible stuff. I'm sorry, my brain is going dirty again. It makes some more flexible stuff easier to color because paints will only go cracky crack, and I don't like cracky crack.
Do you need to go in the corner again for a minute?
I, at this rate, I'm never gonna get free from the corner.
There is no
That's
escaping the
what.
corner. The
That's
corner
it.
comes for you.
That's it. I'm gonna sit in the corner and cry. Just. I'll use that emoji or whatever the award is with the tears. Just I'll make it a sad tear award for myself. Can you award yourself? I wish we could. I wish we could just award ourselves. Cash it in by
Well, if you have a second account,
Yeah, I did, and then
like
I
if
gave up because it was
you,
too much to keep track of.
well, I made a
Um,
second account for my living letter because all writers have one, but I can't even
silicone
do a
mold. Yeah.
broadcast for him because I don't have a webcam at the moment, so
Right.
and I can't put him on my any of my other devices. So he only
Uh-huh.
gets the small money.
Yeah, silicone molds are good. We find they don't last as long as the smooth on products. Technically, that is a silicone mold, but it's not. You may want to look them up. We highly recommend the products. They also have food grade mold materials. They have, but they are. Here, let me take off the little private thing. It's smooth dash on. I think they're out of England or Poland or somewhere over there, and they assign companies like representatives. Only one person's allowed to sell per major city type thing. So once you find it, you've got a dedicated base, which has worked nice because you know who to call all the time and deal with, and they have to work within Smooth On's regulations on pricing and everything. Um, but the drawback, of course, is if they're out of one, you know, when
I
you
know who
go
you
into
call.
a Oh,
Sorry.
yes.
Ghostbusters.
Um,
Who are you gonna call?
there it is. Ghostbusters. Oh God, now it's stuck in my head. But yeah, they always have like these chain wheels with samples. So you walk into the store, whoever their official distributor is, and you can sit there and go, not that, not that. This is too soft. This is too hard. This is too, and have right up close contact with the product before buying it, for investing in. So, and they do online courses too, which is nice. So I'm really happy with Smooth On. They've grown so much since we started using them years ago. It used to be only production used them, but now, almost anyone does. So you will look them up. Cool. So I'm going to go. First, I am going to kick Charles out.
Yep.
I'm going to put
Well,
him
I'm
in the
down to
corner.
6% anyway, so.
Wow. Okay. Charles, say goodbye however you want to say goodbye. Politely ish, kind of.
Bye.
Later,
Bye,
Charles. Thank you for
kids. See you
joining
next
me.
week.
Oh, God. Sigh. Later.
Later.
Yeah. Why is it not disconnecting? There it goes. All right. Just a reminder, I am looking for all the people who are already putting money into the Remember Me to find out if you guys mind if we move it to November 1st. I will need to make that decision really, really soon because I will have to let Fan Expo know because they may not be able to put our panels on the Friday and Saturday. They have a lot of COVID regulation changes that they're dealing with that may affect the schedule. So they're not going to confirm until a few days before. And I don't want to screw you guys over, and I don't want to turn down the first convention in 3 years. So please, 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 if you're on that list of people who are taking part in the Remember Me, please, I need a majority of you to say yay or nay. So far, I've gotten a few that say yay. Also, if you are taking part, I need your stories for the people who you are remembering for the Day of the Dead. And Car Hunger, CARRHUNGER, at Car Hunger, CARRHUNGER .com. Or tell me you're going to read it yourself on air. We're kind of hoping some people will come on air in order to have a proper collaboration. And if you've got something Day of the Dead to wear, that would be great, especially if we can do it on November 1st because it'll be appropriate. Or if you're into doing makeup and stuff, Bobby, if you're out there, do you want to take part? And we'll do that. If we move it to November 1st, it'll be much better in the sense that we can actually do it on the Day of the Dead. So do let us know. You can also contact us through Facebook, again, Car Hunger, CARRHUNGER, and Instagram, Car Hunger, CARRHUNGER. They are the two I keep track of the most. So I'm on there a lot more than I am any of our other social medias. Remember, respect yourself more than anyone else can. Everything will be just fine. Self-respect, self-love. Very important. I am going to run the Monarch promo video at the end of this, but keep in mind the date that it says we're doing this on may change. All right, folks. Take care of yourself. I will come back later tonight or sometime tomorrow to check on the awards given during this broadcast and add you people to that post where I talk about how much money you're on and how much more to get included. Now, the actual draw, is always a different story. It's always anyone who put in any awards. So that list will be right there the day we do the broadcast. All right. So everyone, behave yourself. Or if you're not going to behave yourself, don't do any major damage. Or if you can't recover from it, it's really not worth it. Okay. Later, folks.
Keep the time.
You had a great time in Montreal. Montreal was all hardwood floors, right? Go on, camera. Okay.
I'd like to. That's my favorite thing. That's why I
No!
Oh, look, cocktails.
How much styrofoam?
No. Way too much styrofoam. The birds are confused. It's like, what's this city doing here?
But we'll leave us hanging.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I'll hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar.